Okay, Futures, I got a different type of category tonight. I got some movie trivia for you. So I got 10 questions here. You got to get 4 before you get 3 strikes. You pick 1 through 10, and then I'll just pick the question and ask it.
All right.
All right. So you tell me 1 through 10, and I'll take that card.
We'll start with Deuces Wild, number 2.
Okay. All right. Hopefully you saw this movie. That's usually the first problem, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The movie is Groundhog Day. You ever see it with Bill Murray?
Of course,
okay.
My favorite.
This is going to be an easy one for you then. So at 6 o'clock every day, he wakes up through the clock radio, and the clock radio plays a song. Name the song.
I hear it in my head. Let me just think about the name. Now I'm starting to lose it. It's Sonny and Cher.
I need the name.
Sonny and Cher.
Not the artist.
And it's oh my God. Now the pressure's getting to me. I'm drawing a complete blank. I got you, babe.
Nice. Good job.
Thank you. God, that was way too long.
Isn't that terrible when you know it, right? And you can't get it out. All right. So one down, 3 to go, full 3 strikes. So 1 to 10 without picking number 2. Next movie.
Lucky number 7.
Oh, this is one of my favorites of all time, and I know that you have seen this one. Now, I have 2 different questions here for this, so pick A or B. One's harder than the other.
We'll go B for Bavaro, the greatest tight end ever.
I can't argue that because I love him too. So, all right, here we go. At the end of the movie, Andy escapes and he tells Red in the postcard and tells him, I think a different time as well, to meet him at some town if he gets out. Name the town that Red goes to meet him at the end of the movie. In English, please. You know I don't speak Spanish. Different movie.
The first thing, though, we might want to mention the movie that we're discussing to the audience.
Oh, good call. Shawshank Redemption. My bad.
One of the greatest movies of all time. So I'm assuming our audience probably knew what it was anyway. Once you mention Andy. I'm completely drawing a blank, and I really.
So you remember at the end of the movie when he goes to the wall, right? And he's reading the letter, and Andy says to him, "You remember the name of the town, don't you?" And then Red looks up and he says the name. So you want me to tell you what the name was?
And I don't think I'm going to get it. So let's. This will be my first X.
All right. So I'll start it for you then. Say. Man. It starts out say.
Say. Yeah. Now you're totally confused. My mind is all over the place right now.
And I'm sure I'm butchering the language, so people have to excuse that, but it's Say Watanejo. See how that clicks once you hear?
I know.
All right, so you got one.
I don't know why, but somebody had asked me that question recently, and I had gotten it right. And under the pressure of the Back It Up Binge podcast, it's a totally different animal.
Well, the pressure's all in the name. We either back it up or you don't come back. But that's why you're asked back all the time, because you usually back it up. So I'll give you the other question on Shawshank, and this doesn't count, but this is in my opinion, this is the harder one. Okay.
Okay. So
beginning of the movie, Brooks has a bird that he feeds the little maggot to in the cafeteria. What's the name of the bird?
I knew you were going to say, what's the name of the bird? Oh, man. Can you give me a letter that it starts with?
Yes, it starts with a J.
Oh, God, it's J.
And a famous wrestler, this was his first name.
Again, my mind is drawn. It's not
This is not an easy question. It's Jake.
I'm just going to... Is it Jake? I was going to say Jericho.
That would be a tough name to have in a movie. Hey, here's my bird, Jericho.
But as soon as you say it, I'm like, of course it's Jake. Like, I've seen that movie so many times. Oh, man.
I watch it every time it's on. But here's an interesting tidbit I read about his bird, that there was actually a scene cut out of the movie where the bird actually dies after Brooks gets out, but they cut it.
There?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
One right, 3 to go, 1 strike. Pick a number 1 to 10, but not 2 or 7.
Super Bowl 42 and 46 MVP, number 10.
Fran Tarkenton? No, number 10. Okay, my bad. I'm glad we're not doing Super Bowl MVPs as a category. Oh, this is a great movie. Let me say it this time so I don't get corrected, all right?
Okay.
Dodgeball. All right.
Such a great movie. I haven't seen it in so long, though, so this will be interesting.
So, again, you got 2 questions here. Do you want A or B?
Is it the same as before where you think one is easier or harder?
They both could be easier. They both could be hard on this one. B has a 1-word answer where A has a bunch of words, if that helps.
Let's go A.
All right. So Patches O'Houlihan is the Hall of Fame dodgeball player, and he teaches the guys about dodgeball, and he teaches them the 5 Ds of dodgeball. What are the 5 Ds?
Oh, man. I could picture it. Oh, my God. Well,
right?
one of the Ds has to be dodge, right?
Well, 2 of them are because it begins and ends with dodge. So you got 1 of the 4 words.
So we got dodge, and then it's not duck, is it?
Yes, there's 1.
It's duck. All right.
You got 2 more.
Dodge, duck. It's this sounds stupid, but it doesn't say don't get hit, does it?
No. That should be the number 1, though, right? Don't get hit.
It should be.
I just keep picturing that scene where that one kid keeps getting peppered with the balls, or the other guy gets the wrench in the head.
The wrench is the best. All right, so dodge, duck, dodge, duck, drop.
No. No, keep going. This is a hard one, so I'll give you a couple of them.
Dodge, duck. It's not drop. Dodge, duck. He doesn't.
I just keep thinking of that scene, man.
Dodge, duck. It's dodge, duck. It's not drop, huh?
No, it's another.
It's the 4 Ds.
It's actually 5, but he mentions dodge and dodge on bookends.
On bookends, okay. It's not. It's stupid. It can't be drink, is it? It's not that. Right?
Why would drink be part of dodgeball? Wait, I gotta hydrate.
I'm thinking of silly words that he might have said.
All right, so here's a hint. Then here, you obviously got an X on this category because you're stumped, right? So it's another slang for tobacco.
Dip.
Yep, dip. And then okay, here you go. What is LeBron known for? Another word for flop.
Another word for flop.
He takes a dive.
Dive.
All right. So the 5 Ds of dodgeball are dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Man,
where's the wrench? I wish I had like special effects to the wrench.
I got to rewatch that movie soon. It's been too long.
Do you remember when a young Patches is teaching Timmy about dodgeball, and then the kid gets hit in the face with the ball? The kid with the glasses, the little kid.
I think so.
What's the name of the little kid?
Oh my God!
And Patches laughs after he hits him in the face.
What's the letter start?
Starts with a W.
It's not Willie, is it?
No, it's Winston.
Winston, that's right.
Here, let's look at Winston here, and then he gets nailed in the face.
That's right.
Start laughing at Winston. All right,
you've got me now with this question, and I'm watching that movie this weekend, so I have to watch it again. It's been too long since I've seen it. So great.
Okay, let's go back to number one. And this is a better movie than Goonies and probably one of the top 5 movies of all time.
Blasphemy, but go ahead.
The Warriors.
Oh, God.
Okay.
This is a classic, and I probably haven't seen Warriors in a longer time than Dodgeball, but let's go for it.
So just so you know, President Reagan was a fan of this film and called the lead actor, Michael Beck, to tell him that how much he loved the film because he watched it while he was at Camp David one time. Anyhow.
That's awesome.
So the Warriors, as you know, they go to the meeting. Cyrus, ... He gets shot. They get blamed for it. They got to get back to Coney Island, and they run across all these gangs along the way. I've listed 6 gangs here. Give me one. Just give me one of the gangs other than the Warriors.
Oh, man. Oh, this is terrible. One gang besides the Warriors. I don't think I'm backing it up on this episode, and it's going to be a really crummy guess. But if one of them's not the Killers, is it?
It's so easy to be named the Killers. No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
So no.
You're going to have to give it to me because I don't remember much of that movie besides the main parts of it.
So the main gang that were looking and put the word out for the Warriors were the Gramercy Riffs.
As soon as you said it, okay, go ahead.
Do you remember the scene where they were trying to get to the train and they're underneath the turnstile or underneath the train tracks, and that gang on the bus goes running by? That's the Turnbull ACs.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They get chased by the baseball guys into the park. That's the Baseball Furies.
I should have had that. Oh, man. Come on.
Now, the guy that yells out, "Come out to play," Warriors come out to play, which was a completely ad-libbed line by that guy.
Was it really? I didn't know.
Yeah. That gang is called the Rogues.
The Rogues.
The gang that the 3 guys that get separated, they're all female gang. They go back to the apartment. They almost get shot.
Yeah.
That's the Lizzies. And here's the best gang in that movie, my all-time favorite gang other than the Warriors, and I use this as a fantasy baseball team name a lot, the Orphans.
The Orphans. I should have known the Orphans for sure, just Orphans fantasy team.
Orphans were great. You want to keep, even though you didn't get the category, I've got 4 or 5 other movies here. You want me to ask you a couple questions from them?
Yeah, this is fun, even though I'm not getting them right.
I'll give you a more refined movie first, all right? Compared to the comedies that are coming up. All right, so Saving Private Ryan.
Another great movie, okay.
All right, so if you remember his platoon, if that's the amount of guys in it, I guess it's a platoon, we all had a bet on what did Captain Miller, the role played by Tom Hanks, do for a living, if you remember that. And then when they go to that radar station when their medic gets killed with the German guy there and they're all yelling at each other, he tells them. So what did he do before he was in the army or in the armed forces?
Oh man, that's a good question. And I couldn't even just to throw out a guess out there because I really have no idea what the answer is, but it's not like accountant or something, is it?
Why? What, is that supposed to be derogatory towards my profession?
No, not at all.
I'm kidding. No,
I just assume Tom Hanks looks like one.
What's that supposed to mean? Okay, so he taught English composition and was the coach of the baseball team.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Nice. That's a good trivia question.
Okay, let's go to Bull Durham.
Nice. That's a good one.
What is Nuke's full name?
Oh, Lord. Another one I'm not going to guess.
Ebby Calvin LaLouche.
Yeah, I never would have got
You didn't know that? Oh, I thought everybody knew that. And it was the second question in this. How many days did Crash Davis spend in the show? Remember, he's on the bus and he tells them, I was in the show for X days. How many days?
He doesn't. Oh man, that's a good one too. It's not 30 days, is it?
21.
21. Yeah, 21. Okay.
All right, here's an easy one for you. Here's a slam dunk. We'll go to Anchorman.
Nice.
Beginning of the movie, the opening credits, just like myself, he's yelling at his makeup girl. It's Bush League, right? Look at me. It's Bush League. What's the name of his makeup girl?
Oh, I'm going to say Jessica.
It's Audrey. Audrey, look at me. This is Bush League.
I remember him saying Bush League. I don't remember him saying her name.
And then he gets all irritated, and then he apologizes. I'm sorry. And I got another one. There's Brick Tamlin, and he looks into the camera and he says, "I have an IQ of X." What's his IQ? That's a hard one. That's a hard one.
He doesn't say I have an IQ of 1, does he?
No, it's 48.
It's 48.
I have an IQ of 48. I like a nice pair of jeans. He's putting the mayo in the toaster. Okay, here's a good one for you. Here's a really good one for you. This is number 4.
All right.
In the limo in Dumb and Dumber, Lloyd's driving Mary to the airport, and he tells her the name of the pet store he's going to open up with Harry. What's the name of the store? The pet store.
I got worms.
Nice. There you go. Perfect. All right. I should have asked. You should have picked number 4. Second Dumb and Dumber question, which again is one of my favorite movies. So Harry and Lloyd were in that hot tub talking about the girl that dumped Frida Felcher, that dumped Harry. And Harry tells Lloyd the type of letter he got from Frida. What type of letter did he get from her?
A Dear John letter.
No.
Oh, he didn't say a Dear John letter?
He said John Deere. That's a John Deere letter.
That's right.
Such a great movie. I actually saw Jeff Daniels on Broadway in To Kill a Mockingbird. It was awesome to see him. Great play. I love plays. But there's Harry, right?
Yeah.
And you got to get past that the first 5 minutes.
I don't know if have you ever seen like when they were promoting, probably more so with the second Dumb and Dumber, when they were promoting with Jim Carrey, and you see him turn into the character like in front of your eyes, and you're like, oh my God, like it really does take a lot for him to turn from, Jeff Daniels, a serious actor, into him.
That's right. All right. Last set of questions. Last movie I have is Tommy Boy.
Classic. Okay.
I tried to pick movies that Oscar worthy that I know that we've both seen. Okay. So one of the opening scenes, Richard goes to pick up Tommy as he gets out of college after getting his D+ on his exam to pass, and says, they don't give out those kind of grades, D+. And he tells Richard how many years he went to college. How many years was he in college, Tommy Boy?
A lot of, I can't even say it. A lot of students go to college for 7 years. Yeah, Tommy, they're called doctors.
That's it. You just salvaged this whole category of knowing that line. That's exactly right. Okay, and then this was a really hard one from the movie. You may not get this one. Do you remember when they stop for gas and Richard goes in and asks the guy for directions? And Tommy does. What'd you do after he ruins the door?
Yeah.
What city in Iowa does Richard have a hard time finding, which prompts the cashier to tell him to get a new map?
Oh, man, it's
a town in Iowa. This is a tough one.
Oh man, I'm not going to remember it.
Davenport.
Dang it.
That was pretty good. You know what? You salvaged the whole episode by getting that line. Yeah, they're called doctors.
That's one of that scene to me is one of the best comedic scenes ever because there is a hilarious conversation going on with David Spade and the guy in the store who I can't think of his name right now, but that guy's a good actor too. And he was on the show 30 Rock the whole time.
Okay.
But in the background is just a whole nother scene with Tommy just going nuts on the car. It's the best thing ever.
You know what my favorite line in that movie is? Well, one of my favorite lines is when they're getting ready for the first sales call. And he says, okay, Tommy, what are we going to do? We ain't going to take any shit from anybody. No, we're not going to take no for an answer. Yeah, right. I mean, that's sales 101. We ain't going to take any shit from anyone. Oh, that was hysterical. All right, man. Great job on that. Great episode. Again, you salvaged it with the script Tommy Boy on 7 years. So nice job.
Thank you very much.